Hello and welcome to another episode of Learning to Live in the Present Moment. My name is Ted Robinson and I'm your host today. Today we're going to be talking about if this was the last day of your life, what would you want your life to have been about? What are you about? Are you about earning, supporting, responsibilities? What are you here for? What are you really here in this lifetime for? What's the purpose of your life? Because, I'm a little older than most now, and I'm realizing that life has been pretty short. Had I known then what I know now, I would have done things very differently. I wouldn't have squandered a lot of my time in a lot of different ways. Do you have that feeling in your life at all? Are there things that are just waiting for you to do, waiting until you complete this, waiting until you finish that, waiting until the kids are old enough, waiting until something else, whatever it might be? Well, most people have those kind of unfulfilled desires in life. And my purpose in talking to you today is to point out that the only reason we're here, the only reason we're here, is to be present and celebrate that presence. Why? Well, obviously the name of the show is Learning to Live in the Present Moment. Why would you want to live in the present moment at all? What's that mean at all? And that's what we're going to explore today, because many people don't even know what I'm talking about when I say the present moment. It sounds simple, right? The present moment. What's that? It's right now. Okay, there you go. Goodbye. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Well, that's not what it's about. What people, all these teachers on the internet and out in the ethers here, are talking about is being present or becoming present. And that really is almost the wrong way to explain it, because the truth is there's a part of you that is present already, always. It's a silent presence within. Gangaji is one of the speakers or teachers on the internet today, on the spiritual, I don't know what you want to call it, circuit, I guess. And I was watching a video of hers recently on YouTube, and she said, it's a silent presence within. Leonard Jacobson talks about the same thing, the silent presence within. So what I would suggest to you is this. You already are that silent presence within. Some may call it a soul or a spirit or just a presence. That's not your mind, by the way. It's not your body. It's something beyond all of that. I like to think of it like your soul as just a large bubble around the body that extends out maybe 3 feet on either side and in front and back, top and bottom. How's that? That's a silent presence. And within that, we have this body, this three-dimensional body, this living being which we inhabit or attach ourselves to or put within a silent presence. And we have a mind, and that mind does all this talking and all this communicating and all these feelings and all these, everything we do, most people think emanates from their mind. I would suggest to you that's not true. I would suggest to you everything is about your silent presence, that larger than you something that's there all the time. It's not just the self-talk, that who are you talking to when you talk to yourself. It's not just that. It's almost a silence within that you only access when you meditate or when you're in presence. And that silence within is attached to everything. It's not separate from anything. Everything is part of that silent presence. And you are within it, and it is within you. The Chinese 5,000 years ago talked about the Tao, T-A-O. The Tao Te Ching was a 81-page document written by, ostensibly written by a man named Lao Tzu. And it was supposed to be a wonderful, and it is a wonderful book. But basically the reason I'm mentioning it is because the very beginning of the book starts out with the Tao that can be named is not the Tao. And so it's like God. The Jews will write G underscore D. And I asked why. They said, well, because we feel you cannot use a single word for God because God is beyond dimension. It's beyond explanation. It's beyond definition. It's simply God. And I would suggest to you that this silent presence, which each of us is a part of that. It's indescribable. You can't define it. It goes beyond everything. And yet it is in touch and part of everything. It's more than we think we are. It's just connection, connectivity with everything in the world. We start from it, in all these burials you see ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Well, I would suggest that we start from the ashes, we go back to the ashes. In between, it's an experience. And within that experience, this silent presence travels along with you at all times. It is the God within. It's the God without. It's part of everything. And is all of you. That's right, all of you and me. And we are one. Every one of us is one with God and God with us. In the religions, I believe all Christian religions I'm sure of, but I believe all other religions believe that God is omnipresent, meaning present in everything. God is everywhere all the time. There is no escape from that. God can't escape from us. We can't escape from God. Not that we want to. But God is within us. God is in this plant. God is in the air. God is everything. So we can't escape from being God. I would suggest that silent presence of which I'm speaking right now is part of that dimension. I don't see how it can be anything but. But there's a silence to it. And it's just there. Observing. Being with you at all times. Being you at all times. And here it is again. I can't really describe it any better than that. It just is. And that's what presence is all about. Finally got to it, huh? Well, presence is all about just being here in silence. Being one with the silent presence that already is. When we're present, we come into that presence. We enter it. We join with it consciously. And as we become consciously present, consciously aware of our own silent presence within, we connect with everything and everybody. We are here as part of the One. The God. G underscore D. We are part of all of it. But the only time we're really consciously aware of it is when we are present. And presence can be defined as just being here. You can close your eyes, you can open your eyes, it doesn't matter. You can be present while you're doing things too, by the way. In certain religions, in certain courses, they would tell you, meditate. You can do a walking meditation, a lying meditation, an eyes open meditation, an eyes closed meditation. It's all the same. I would tell you the same thing. Presence is just presence. And you're here with it. Now, I'll be back in a moment because a lot of people have questions about that. How am I going to be present when I'm working? How am I supposed to be present when I'm traveling or commuting or any number of things? How am I supposed to do everything that I want to do and still be present too? And I'm going to go into all those issues with you in just a moment. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So as I said, I'm going to talk to you now about the issue of how am I present in the world? How can I be present more often in the world without losing myself and not accomplishing anything? Because if I'm going to sit in silence, if I'm going to be silent and present, I can't do anything, right? Well, that's the thought that usually arises right now. The truth is, it's not about being present in every single thing you do. You certainly have to make appointments, go shopping, feed yourself and others. You have lots of obligations and responsibilities in this world. I'm not suggesting for a moment that you abandon any of those. That's not what I'm saying here. What I am saying is that presence can become the predominant state of mind for you. And if that becomes the case, I should say, when that becomes the case, you'll see that you are much more alive. You feel more alive. Why? Because you're connected with everything and everybody at a much deeper level, at that silent presence level. That part of you that is the silent presence suddenly opens up and everything else is present with you. And it always has been. See, every plant, every painting, every wall, every bit of air, clouds in the skies, trees, animals, grass, every bit of it is all present, except when they go into the mind. That's what happens. We get stuck. We get lost in our minds. We do all kinds of things to maintain our minds, right? To keep our minds occupied. Have you ever watched somebody, or have you ever done this, where you're sitting and you have to pick something up to read, you have to do something with your hands, you have to look at something, you have to watch something, like a TV, I mean? Very seldom do you see a person just satisfied to take it all in and just sit and look without thought, without thinking, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, let me make a list. None of that. Just be. Notice my body just relaxed. Yours can too. We all can do this. It's a natural state for us to be in, by the way. This is our natural state. All the rest of the ways we are, all the helter-skelter, hustle-bustle, is all because of our minds and the conditioning of our minds from school and everything else. We're all conditioned to keep our minds constantly going. I think there are like 4,000 advertisements a day that each of us sees. Can you imagine if we really put our attention to every one of them? We have to put the shields up, otherwise we go nuts. So I'm not suggesting that you lower the shields and get inundated or pummeled by everything that's out there. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is set some time aside just for presence. Start with a minute a day. Just a minute. You can even say to people, just a minute, and take your minute in silence and presence. Or you can start to take 30 seconds here, 15 seconds there, 5 or 10 seconds at a time, and just be present. There's 5 seconds. I just became present with everything. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You see, because what you're doing is connecting with that silent presence within again and remembering. And saying, this. I remember this. Yes. This is my natural state. This is where I want to be more often. I may not be able to do it all the time, but I sure can do it some of the time. And that can be quality time. The greatest quality time available to me is in presence. Because it's all about me. Me and my silent presence. So that's the first way. Now, my teacher Leonard Jacobson says to me that presence, or becoming awakened in presence, is a two-step process. The first step is to be present. And that's great. And I just talked all about that, so you have a good idea of that. But the second step is to acknowledge, recognize, acknowledge, and resolve all those things in life that keep you out of presence. So what would they be? Well, anxiety is a good one. frustration, anger, rage, sadness, depression, fear, worry, stress. Can we go on? So all of those things are the things that hold our mind, that take our mind here and there and everywhere. Jobs and everything else. Some things are necessary, of course. You need to keep a job or whatever you want to do in life. You need to take care of your family, spouse and family, or just yourself. Those things are givens, and those are not going to go away, but you can do them from presence, by the way. But the better aspect of this is to recognize that once all those things are done, what about the other stuff that keeps our minds occupied 95% of the time? Our minds are focused on what he said, what she said, I can't believe, what if I see? That kind of stuff that keeps you locked into your mind in the past, or I'm worried about the future. Am I going to get the job? Am I going to ace the audition? All this stuff, the past and the future, always takes you out of presence and into the mind. And I always point to this side of the mind, which is the left brain, because that's where all of our cognitive resources are, in the left brain. So when you have an issue in life, whatever it may be, how do you resolve it? Well, some teachers would tell you, well, just deal with it, work with it, it's okay. I would tell you that you can use emotional freedom technique. And emotional freedom technique will take care of those issues very, very quickly. And then you can go back to presence. I'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back. So when I say I can use and like to use EFT, or emotional freedom technique, to eliminate all those things that keep me out of presence, it's very simple actually. Every negative thought, every self-limiting belief, like I can't do it, I'll never succeed, nobody loves me, I'm unworthy, those are self-limiting beliefs. Pain and aberrant behaviors all are a result of a blocked meridian. And we have this meridian system that runs through our body. Acupressure and acupuncturists use it all the time. This does not include needles, by the way, what I'm going to be doing. It's acupressure. And it's a lay technique. In other words, everybody, including you, can learn it. Now, if you want to learn it, I'm going to put my website up on the screen right now. It's tedrobinson.com. tedrobinson.com. That's me. And you go to that and click on the EFT page. There's a whole explanation and some videos there that will show you exactly how to do EFT. But here's the important thing. I'm going to do a little bit of it with you right now to show you how to deal with some of the issues in your life. And all you do is substitute whatever your issue is, okay? And it's very simple. We're going to tap here on the side of the hand, the eyebrow point, which is where the eyebrow and nose meet, the side of the eye, under the eyeball, right up under the eyeball, under the eyelid, under the nose, under the mouth, collarbone point, under the arm. Under the armpit for ladies is right on your bra strap. For men it's about 3 inches below your armpit. The top of your head. And that's it. It's going to look a little silly, I grant you that, but it works. And that's why I use it. And it works really effectively. So whatever it is you want to work on right now, and I'll leave a gap when we're saying the words, because I'm going to say some words, you're going to say them back to me as we do the tapping. So get ready to tap right now. It's going to be very short and very impactful, okay? So here we go. Just fill in the word when I say, even though I have this, and you'll say, whatever it might be. My aversion to going to work. I can't get up in the morning. I don't want to go to school. I hate my life. Whatever it might be. Just fill in the gap, okay? We're going to say, even though, say the words, even though I have this, and fill in the blank right now. Keep tapping. Fill in the blank. I love and accept myself nonetheless. Say those words. I love and accept myself nonetheless. Say one more time. Even though I have this fill in the blank. I love and accept myself nonetheless. And here we go. We're going to tap right here, the eyebrow point. We're going to say, I can't stand going, and say going to work, or whatever it might be. Side of the eye. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. Under the eye. I just hate my life. Whatever it might be. Say those words right now. I just hate my life. Under the nose. I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it anymore. You're going to say that right after me each time. Under the mouth. I want my life back. I want my life back. Collarbone point. I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. Under the armpit. I love myself, but I don't like myself right now. I love myself, but I don't like myself right now. Top of the head. I feel so awkward doing this. I feel so awkward doing this. This looks dumb. This looks dumb. But if it works, I'd be very happy. But if it works, I'd be very happy. I don't know if this is going to work for me. I don't know if this is going to work for me. Under the nose. Hey, I feel a little relaxed already. Hey, I feel a little relaxed already. Under the mouth. I want to get rid of all these feelings. These negative feelings. I want to get rid of all these feelings, these negative feelings. Collarbone point. I let go of all these negative feelings. I let go of all these negative feelings. Under the arm. I let go of any remaining negative feelings. I let go of any remaining negative feelings. Top of the head. I feel a little better already. I feel a little better already. Side of the hand, and I like that. And I like that. Drop your hands down. Take a nice deep breath. And let it out. And see how you feel. That feel a little better? Good, good. All right, so that's how you do it. And I just wanted to give you a little advanced example of it. But you can do this with anything you choose. And by the way, I have a bunch of YouTube videos up that will help you overcome judgment and reduce resistance to change and a lot of other things. And there's a whole tutorial on YouTube under my name and EFT beyond it. Ted Robinson, EFT. All right? So I hope this has helped you figure out a little bit more about being present and remembering what your purpose is here on earth on a daily basis. And in my view, it's simply about being present. And that's what this show is all about. Learning to live in the present moment together as one. Thanks. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.